Okay, today we're going to take a look at the XKey and the Rgh modded consoles. The XKey first was a device that allowed you to play all Xbox 360 games via a USB device. This is my setup, all installed and ready to rock and roll, so we're going to go through this. To use it, you just use the actual gamepad, and you use a combination of the Y button and the A button to first of all select this menu. This menu just gives you a graphical representation of what's on your hard drive. You select the game, you exit out to the menu, you then press the Y button where it says play DVD, and then the green A button, and then that basically reads that game then, and it loads straight into it. Loading's pretty fast. I'd say it's slightly faster than the DVD drive itself. There's no stuttering on any of the full motion video, it plays well. The games load in nice and quickly, so probably, like I say, slightly faster than using the DVD drive. You've got a lot quicker spin up times on a hard drive. So how does it work? This is the X kit you get back in the day. It did install behind the DVD drive in the back of the Xbox. This is the Jungle Flasher software. You need this to extract the drive key from your DVD drive. Once you've got that key, you put it onto like a notepad file, and then you can store it onto an SD card. Once you've got it on the SD card, you can plug it into this, plug all the rest of your system in. The system initially came with a remote like this. This is how you used to select the games, but on later revisions of the firmware, it allowed you to use that graphical interface. This is the hard drive that I'm using. It's a 2TB Seagate GoFlex, perfectly adequate, and it connects into the rear of the Xbox like this. This is the drive board, the actual XKey itself. This goes between the motherboard and the DVD drive. You use a small micro SD card which goes in here with your DVD key on. And you also have this little ribbon cable which connects to your remote which you used, but like I say, on modern firmwares it didn't use that, it used the graphical interface. So this is the XKey all installed. Unfortunately you can't use emulators on the XKey, well at least that's as much as I've never been able to get it to work. So Rgh, how does it compare or better than the XKey? This is my Rgh modded Xbox 360. Boot times are about 5 seconds, which is pretty good for an Rgh modded console. The difference between an Rgh and XKey boots into the actual normal dashboard of an Xbox, where an Rgh modded you can load in your own dashboard, like Freestyle Dash. It initially loads code in, and obviously this is what you can see on there. Your game selection is a lot crisper, it runs a lot nicer, it's not so clumsy as the XKey dashboard. It loads in just as quick. Games are just as quick as they load in as they do on the XKey. I've been using the Rgh modded console as my main driver. I like the interface. I think the possibilities are endless. The community has got right behind this. I'm way behind the curve when it comes to setup options and things that people have done. There is loads of stuff, new dashboards, new themes, always being created. The community have really got behind this project. As you can see, everything is there. It's been very well scripted and documented, and how you can modify and change things. So everything is there. It's nice and easy to get your games onto an Rgh modded. If your own games collection can be dumped directly to the Xbox, which is a nice touch. This is just some of my games that obviously I've loaded onto this. So how does this one work in comparison? Well, first you're going to need, obviously, to select some form of mod chip. You're more than likely going to need this postfix adapter which goes there. This is what the installation would look like once you've installed it, but again there is a lot of things that are needed to do. This is your this blue screen isn't a blue screen of death, it's your CPU, and this shows that you've actually got it to work. So the XKey Pros instant boot, runs any games off any size hard drive, no console modification so you can easily remove it, nice fast load times, can use multiple hard drives or flash drives, and you don't need any discs to run any of your games off. So the XKey cons, no emulation that I know of. It's expert, you know, you've got to know what you're doing to be able to extract the drive key off the DVD drive. It was quite expensive today, and if you can get it today, you needed to have an external hard drive or flash drive. You also needed a key reader to extract the DVD key, and you can't dump the games from your disc to the hard drive. Okay, the Rgh pros. Games installed to the actual internal hard drive, up to now 16 terabytes you can modify your drive to. Runs emulators, and you can run all of your game mods and game mod menus. You don't need any discs, and there's a new dashboard so you can control all the fans and all of the internals of the Xbox, which is great feature. Okay, the cons. Extreme expert level to install and set up. There's limited size on the hard drives. I know it's 16 terabytes, but that's the current limit of the internal hard drive. Soldering required for the installation. You have to reconfigure the hard drive if you want to put it back together to standard, and you could brick the console in that process. So, what's my conclusions between the two? The XKey is a good setup. It does require a little bit of expertise, but nothing too major. I think the XKey does exactly what it says on the tin, but I'd have to give it to the Rgh setup, you know, the JTAG setups that in the day. There's a lot more customization, there's a lot more features, there's a lot more modern take to it. Maybe if the XKey would still been developed for it, might have been okay. But as it stands, the Rgh has got it for me. It's a lot more flexible. You can dump your games directly, you can change the dashboard, you can speed your fans up to help protect, you know, to protect the console from overheating. There's loads of features you can customize in some of the hidden dashboards, but it is a lot more complex and a lot more time consuming to get an Rgh console set up yourself. If you're going to buy one, definitely 100% go for Rgh. If you're going to make it yourself, there's a large learning curve to actually get this installed and up and running. It's not impossible, but definitely a large learning curve. So if you know somebody that's already done one, or you can get somebody to do it for you, then definitely. But my take on this, definitely Rgh as the winner, but XKey wouldn't be a bad purchase if you could get it for the right price, if it's just coming down to playing games for you and not emulators. Obviously the emulator is nice touch for the Rgh modded console. So there's my take on it. Okay, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave you with GoldenEye 007 on the Xbox 360, obviously the unreleased remake of the N64 game, which is an absolute cracker on the Xbox 360. Obviously only available if you've got an Rgh modded Xbox 360, really. I suppose you could play it through emulation now, but we'll just play out with that so you can see how good the Xbox 360 still is. One of the most amazing consoles, you know, of my generation, and I'm really pleased to be able to see the two different types of modifications that are now available to us. I know the XKey probably is a bit long in the tooth now in comparison, but it was nice to see what was available then compared to what's available now. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you again in the next video. Bye for now.